You know how good it feels to wake up early in the morning, feeling rested and productive? You know that feeling, and then you're just on a roll, you do what needs to be done, and you feel like you've accomplished so much. Getting enough sleep is part of the recipe, and today we're talking about how you can wake up early without an alarm, and without feeling tired, so that you can be productive in the morning as well as during the day. My name is Lorraine. Welcome to Womapreneur. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you're notified each time we publish a new video, which is every week and usually without fail. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. So first off, why would people want to wake up without an alarm clock? The biggest reason is that when you set an alarm, sometimes it rings when you're in the middle of deep sleep. I've had occasions where I'll go to sleep and then the alarm rings at a certain time and I'm still in the middle of dreaming, and then it interrupts with my sleep and it interrupts with my head for the whole day. It's like I wake up, my mind is foggy, and even if I try to get back into bed and get more sleep, it still does not make much of a difference because now my sleep has been interrupted. So that's why it's important to wake up without an alarm clock, because you know that you've had your full cycle of sleep and rest. And usually when you do wake up without an alarm clock, your mind is going to be clear, you're going to be super productive and focused during the day. So that's why people love waking up without an alarm clock. At the same time, what are the advantages of having an alarm clock? So we obviously have a heavy alarm clock culture. We've gotten used to having alarm clocks to wake us up during the day because you don't want to sleep in and be late for work or whatever you're going to do. So that's why people set alarms, because you don't want to sleep in and be late. And then the second thing is because having an alarm actually enables you to be consistent. So, you know, rather than leaving it to chance or rather than leaving it to your body, having an alarm clock will enable you to form easy habits of waking up at the same time every day. However, today we're talking about how you can actually work towards waking up without an alarm, and you're going to be surprised how the solution is very simple. It's not rocket science. If this video is resonating with you, make sure you hit the like button. It helps us out by letting YouTube know that this content is amazing, and then it makes YouTube push this content and put it in front of more people. So make sure you hit the like button. So how do you actually start waking up early without an alarm clock? The first thing I'm going to tell you is don't stop cold turkey. Don't just decide to quit without a plan, without thinking ahead. Don't do it cold turkey. And then the second thing, plan. Look at your week ahead. Look at all this, at your schedule for the following week and think, okay, what does my week look like? What time do I need to be waking up? So what time do I need to be going into bed? That looking ahead and planning is definitely going to go a long way. That way, when you actually start the week, your mind is expectant. You know, you've prepared your mind and your body for the week ahead and for your schedule, depending on how much you have to do. And then make sure you start small. So if you usually wake up at 8 a.m., don't just suddenly set this goal to wake up at 5 a.m. because that will be a big jolt to your system. And whilst those big jolts can happen, like maybe if you're having a peak in your month where you're very energetic and productive, maybe you can make such a big jump, but it's usually not sustainable. You usually wear yourself out by like day number 3 or day number 4, and then you stop. So make it sustainable. And usually when you want sustainable results and if you want sustainable change, then it's wiser and advisable to make small steps that are more realistic. So if your waking up time is usually 8 a.m., then set a goal that this coming week you're gonna wake up at 7:30 a.m. And here's where the plan actually comes into play. But before we get into those practical steps, come follow us on Instagram. 3 times a day we publish content to inspire and to keep you focused in achieving your goals. So make sure you come follow us on Instagram at womapreneur. You will definitely love it. Come follow us. So the first practical step that you're going to take is plan the night before. So if you plan on waking up at 6 a.m. or whether it's 5 a.m. depending on how much of an early bird you are, make sure you know how much sleep you need every night. So I know I need 7 hours. For me, by 7 hours I'm wide awake. 6.5 hours to 7 hours I'm wide awake. 8 hours I usually feel tired, as if I'm cooked and as if I've had too much sleep. But I have friends and family who need 9 hours, and some younger, like I have younger cousins who tell me they need 10 hours in order for them to function. And that's the thing as well, usually when you're younger, especially when you're a teenager, you need more sleep during that time for some reason, I don't know. And then I think the older you get, the lesser sleep that you need. So based on the sleep that you need, get into bed. So if you need 8 hours sleep, get into bed 8 hours early, 8 hours before your normal waking time, get into bed. If you need 6.5 to 7 hours, get into bed 7 hours beforehand. Make sure you're in bed and you're fast asleep. And in order for you to get into bed at that particular time, it's good for you to start winding down. And winding down 30 minutes to an hour earlier is really good. Personally, I think winding down 2 hours prior is ideal, where you're just relaxed, in your nightie or pajamas, maybe reading, maybe chatting to a loved one, and not doing anything that is serious or focused or anything. So start winding down and then decide the time that you're actually going to get into bed. If your time is 10 p.m., then make sure you're in bed at 10 p.m. This will make or break your waking up without an alarm clock. Like if you don't get enough sleep, there's no way your body is going to wake up naturally by itself early without you getting enough sleep. And try to stick to that schedule for at least 4 to 5 days. That is going to be very important. So now when you set a consistent bedtime, and let's say you're needing those 7 hours of sleep, you're in bed at 10 p.m. That means by 5 a.m. your body is going to naturally wake up. But in order for this to work, you have to do it consistently. Otherwise, it will not become a habit and your body and your brain won't get used to it. So if it's 5 a.m. you're aiming for and you need 7 hours of sleep, make sure you're in bed at 10 p.m. the night before every single day for that week. And it actually takes 63 days to install a habit permanently. So if you're looking at doing this like long term, then stick to it. It's not easy in the beginning, but it does become easy because your mind and your body actually get used to that. So if it's 10 p.m. you're in bed, and then 5 a.m. you're going to be naturally awake. But don't just start off without even setting an alarm. So you want to build it up, because you don't want to just get in bed at 10 p.m. in order for you to wake up at 5 a.m. and then you just don't naturally wake up and you end up running late or not waking up as early as you wanted. So when you start doing this, right, when you're in bed at 10 p.m. and you wake up at 5 a.m., still set the alarm, but set the alarm for 20 to 30 minutes after your natural waking up time. So if you wake up naturally after 7 hours, set the alarm clock for 5:20, 5:30 a.m. That way you still have a buffer. You still know that even if you keep on sleeping, the alarm clock is going to wake you up. But what we don't want is for the alarm to wake you up whilst you're still sleeping. So make sure you set the alarm after you've had enough sleep. And if you need 8 hours of sleep, then make sure that you set the alarm. Let's say if it's 10 p.m., then you set the alarm for 6 a.m. That way you set the alarm for 6:20, 6:30. That way it's beyond your 8 hours. And you will consistently get enough sleep. The more that you do this, your brain, your body, it gets used to that, and then it starts naturally waking up by itself. For me, I know that my body naturally wakes up after 5. I just wake up. So I like to make sure that I'm in bed around 10 or even sometimes before that, so that to enable my body to just wake up naturally around that time. So you're not forcing your body. You're not going against nature. You're not hacking anything. You're not getting a shorter amount of sleep, you know. And I know that nowadays with technology, there are ways of biohacking yourself so that you need fewer sleep than that. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about working with what you've got in natural ways for your body, because you do need to get enough sleep. And that's one thing I always emphasize to people. I'm like, I know that there is this busy culture nowadays, but you cannot compromise on your sleep. It's very important. So you're setting that alarm clock to ring after you've had enough sleep. And then the more it does that, the lesser you need it. So you find that after some time, you won't need an alarm clock anymore. Your, you know, once it hits 6 a.m., your brain, your body will just naturally become awake, because that is how you have trained it. But this works with consistency, so you need to be consistent at it in order for you to get used to it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that now you know what you can do in order for you to wake up earlier without an alarm clock, and in a way that enables you to be productive and focused, instead of having a foggy brain, and instead of, you know, struggling to focus. So that is how you can actually wake up without an alarm clock. Like, I just love this thing. I don't use it. I use it for decoration. It doesn't even have a battery, but I just love the look of alarm clocks. So you definitely can do it. If you enjoyed this video, remember to hit the like button, and also if you haven't done so already, please subscribe and share this video with a friend. Thank you.